Once you create your work breakdown structure, you have to start planning your project. This means keeping track of your tasks with respect to time and deadlines. There are many tools you can use to do this, and there's no one right way. However, all high-performing teams use some sort of project management tool.
In this class, we'll be using Trello. Trello is a versatile online project management tool that can be used for a wide variety of projects. Its flexible structure can be adjusted to help track your project timeline, manage team participation, and organize the tasks that you generated in your work breakdown structure. In this video, we will understand the basics of Trello, break down an example Trello board, explore relationships between tasks, and give some tips to use Trello effectively.
Let's take a look at Trello to explain some of its helpful features. A Trello board is simply a collection of lists in column format. Those columns are populated with individual items called cards. When using Trello, columns will be used to keep track of time, while cards keep track of individual tasks and subtasks. A good strategy to plan effectively is to use columns that are titled for a specific week, and then organize cards in each week for tasks and subtasks that you want to complete in that week. To keep track of the work each team member has to do or has done, assign a team member or members to each task. Usually, one or two initials identifies a person on the board. This keeps everyone on the same page and lets everyone know what they should be working on. This also helps ensure that each task has someone responsible for its completion. Due dates are another helpful feature on Trello. As you plan your project, create new tasks under the week during which they should be completed. You should then set a specific due date by clicking on the card, selecting due date, and choosing a date. As you complete the tasks for each week, you can check off the due date to indicate completion. Due dates will be very important as your team sets goals for each week. They are also helpful when a task doesn't have a hard deadline, but still needs to be completed in a timely manner to work on dependent tasks. If you have a task that involves multiple steps or a list of items to be completed, you can create a checklist within the card. You can also use the Google Drive power-up to attach important or relevant documents to tasks, and get the Trello app to update your tasks with photos of your progress. Finally, when you create your board, make sure that your TA, professor, and all your teammates have access by inviting them to the board. Trello is a good tool for documenting and sharing your progress with your team and instructor.
Trello can be used for a wide variety of projects. For example, let's look at a hypothetical Trello board modeled off of the Safe Soap team. The team needed a way to plan and keep track of progress over the course of their semester-long project. Their board had one generic column for tasks with undetermined deadlines. The rest of the board contained columns for each week of the semester. In each week-specific column, all of the tasks that the team planned to finish that week were listed. Each week, the team tackled the tasks assigned for that week. As they completed tasks, they were marked as such. At the end of each week, they reviewed their progress based on what cards they were able to accomplish each week and decided if the tasks set for future weeks made sense. When the team could identify a solid due date for tasks in the generic column, they assigned that due date and team members to the task and moved the task to the appropriate weekly column. Throughout this process, the team rearranged their cards as necessary to make sure that their project was properly planned and planned as far ahead as possible. This ensured that they could finish their project on time and deliver their product.
We just described one Trello structure. You may find that another structure works better for your project. However, no matter what structure you choose for your Trello board, there are two main features that should be present. The first feature is organization. A good Trello board is well organized with goals and tasks clearly planned out proactively, not retrospectively. Organization and structure allow for effective time management, ensuring that the correct tasks are tackled each week and that the project is completed on time. For example, the Oral S team in the spring 2019 semester was very organized and kept track of tasks every week to meet the goals for the semester. The second feature is documentation of progress. Your Trello board serves as a documentation of progress of your project. On the Safe Soap board, you can look back and see exactly when a task was finished and who finished it. This documentation is supplemented by attached descriptions, comments, pictures, and documents. Another example of a Trello board that does an excellent job of documenting this progress is the Mask team in fall of 2018. You can see the progression from their lower fidelity cardboard prototyping to their higher fidelity wooden prototypes very easily on their Trello board. At the end of the semester, your team should be able to look back and see exactly when tasks were finished, who finished them, and any relevant documents or details related to tasks.
As you organize your tasks, you may begin to recognize relationships between tasks. There are 3 kinds of relationships to look out for: dependencies, concurrencies, and lags. A dependency occurs when a task relies on another task to be completed, or a task is contingent on another. For example, in week 4 of the Safe Soap Trello board, the Safe Soap team planned on making a soap bar holder for their 3rd prototype. In that week's column, they organized their cards for the soap bar holder in the order in which they must be completed to recognize the dependencies between tasks for making the soap bar holder. Concurrent tasks can happen simultaneously with another task. For example, the Safe Soap team in week 4 had multiple tasks that could be completed at the same time. The Safe Soap team used color labels to group those concurrent tasks together, such as ordering acrylic, ordering suction cups, and updating the client via email. Other groups of concurrent tasks in week 4 are labeled using different colors. A lag is a delay or waiting period which results from an outside factor or situation. For example, the Safe Soap team ordered a flat grater for their prototype on November 15th, but it arrived on the 20th instead of the expected delivery date of the 18th. They had already planned week 6 with the flat grater arriving on the 18th, but because of this lag, they had to change the due dates of any dependent cards accordingly. There is no standard way to manage relationships between tasks in Trello, so the way you arrange dependencies, concurrencies, and lags is up to your team. We recommend ordering dependent tasks in a column in the order in which they must be completed, and using labels to group concurrent tasks together, like the Safe Soap Trello example.
Throughout the summer, as we worked as interns with first year design, we used Trello to keep track of our various projects. Here are some useful things that we have learned. First, the only way for Trello to be a helpful and effective tool is to keep up with it and be thorough. It's okay to set aside some time in team meetings to reorganize the Trello and adjust things when necessary, since this will help your team work more effectively and keep track of the project.
Second, it's helpful to think of Trello as a chronological organization of the subtasks you came up with while making your work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure serves as a decomposition of your project's deliverables into smaller tasks and subtasks, independent of time. The Trello board takes those tasks and subtasks and organizes them with respect to time. It uses deadlines and weekly goals to make sure you meet your due dates and deliver your project on time.
So, in this video, you learned the basics of project planning using Trello. We looked at one general structure of a Trello board and how it uses weekly columns and cards to make sure that the tasks of a project are completed on time.
We also looked at several Trello board examples to see how they're organized and document the progress of a project. Overall, the process of identifying and organizing all of the tasks in a design project can be a challenge, but it's a crucial component of any successful team. Find a style and a structure that works well for your team so you can meet deadlines and successfully complete your project.